Hi and welcome to my channel. Before I start, I would like to excuse myself for my voice. I am still recovering from a cold and a Panic at the Disco concert. I'm still sort of recovering from that, or my voice is, so I might sound a little bit nasal in this video. I'm very sorry, but I figured better just go for it and get my creative juices flowing and all that blah blah. Anyway, today I want to talk about veganism. It's been a while since I talked about veganism, I think, because every time I film a video about veganism I feel like I'm not saying things correctly, or I'm not saying enough, or I'm saying too much, or I'm saying stuff that I don't know anything about, so I'm not actually entitled to say that stuff. So I'm never really content with what I make when it comes to veganism, but today I figured I would just go off on my own experiences and not talk about anything that you need to actually study or read for, because I haven't. I usually just go with my gut, and that's what brought me to where I am, I guess. We're going to talk about what it's like being a vegan for a year and a half, because that's how long I've been vegan now. Wow. I made a couple of points in a list here, and I'm going to talk through them, and I was going to start with something different, but given that my health is so prominent right now, I wanted to talk about that first, because I think a common conception that vegans put out there, at least, and what I think is also accepted by the general public, is that veganism is very healthy. And funny thing is, I just, 5 minutes ago, watched a video by Emma Blackery talking about why she's never talking about her diet and about being vegan, and I think she also raised some valid points. But I think what it really comes down to, and that's what she pretty much said as well, but what it boils down to is that your health is what you make of it, and that goes for vegans as well as meat eaters and everywhere in between. If you were to eat a healthy diet that included meat, you would be less healthy than the same diet not including meat, but other items that have similar nutritional values in a good sense. But that doesn't mean that when you eat vegan, everything you eat automatically is healthy. And I personally don't eat a specifically healthy diet. I don't eat a specifically unhealthy diet. I'm somewhere in the middle, and I've always been that, before I was a vegan as well. So I think that if you really want to go into health real deep, then you should probably go for a whole foods plant-based diet, because that's yeah, I don't know. I think that makes sense. I don't know a whole lot about nutrition, but it makes sense to me that not eating too much or any, if you're really good at it, processed foods is best for you. I do eat processed foods, and I go to, more fast food places every once in a while as well, so I'm not one to talk, but I think if you're all about health, it's not just veganism. It's going to be a combination of being a vegan and eating a lot of whole foods. Okay, I'm really sorry about the change in light, but I figure at least it's going to be consistent now. I hope you'll bear with me for that. So yeah, I was talking about health. Personally, I'm reasonably healthy. I think most of my not perfect health right now stems from the fact that I work 6.5 mostly days a week, and that means I probably do not get enough rest, and yeah. That doesn't help my general health. But other than that, I am quite healthy. I do have the intention to pay more close attention to my health once this period of working a lot is over. It's just that working for me has a priority right now, and I do try to get my rest and my veggies and everything in between. But that's not my focus right now, and I think that time away is going to be a good moment for me to give my body a little bit more TLC, because it deserves that, and I know that, but you can't do it all at once. The next two topics that I wrote down sort of tying together, and it's being a good vegan and is veganism hard. And I think these two really tie in together, because the people who will tell you you're not a good vegan are the people who are going to make you feel like being a vegan is hard, because intrinsically I don't think it's difficult at all. It's just a question of accepting that you're not eating certain things and not trying to replace those with a focus, because it's never going to be the same. It might be good, it might be delicious, it might in some ways be better, but it's never going to be the same. So if you're going to wait for a vegan mac and cheese to be the same as a non-vegan one, with actual dairy and meat in it, you're probably not going to find what you're looking for, because that's just not how it works. It's not the same thing. But that doesn't mean that vegan food cannot be delicious. If anything, in the past year and a half, I've tried so many new food that I absolutely adore and that I probably wouldn't have tried otherwise, because I feel like when you eat a non-vegan diet, you are not that easily drawn to vegan foods, because why would you? Because it feels like a very specific choice to make, even though eating vegan foods, even as a meat eater, can be really delicious, but you just don't think of that as something you do. At least I think that's something that a lot of meat eaters have. I had that, and now I eat a lot of stuff that I never ate before, and it's amazing. So honestly, I don't feel like I'm missing out at all. And I think that's the most important part. As soon as you realize that it's going to be different and that you're not going to have the same things, you'll be fine. As long as you realize that lentils are not meat, you'll be okay. If you know that they're different and they're good in their own way, it's really, that's just a mental shift. But I think when you know why you want to do this, it'll be easy to make. And this is where the people who will bash you for not being a perfect vegan come in, because if you don't do everything perfect from the start, you might be brought to feel like you're not good enough, and you might as well not try by these people who are really strict in their veganism. But I think what it comes down to in that aspect is that you try your hardest and you don't just sit around on your lazy butt because you've done one thing. And I think for me personally, I'm still every so often finding something new that I find out is not vegan, or something like exploring a new area of my life where I haven't really paid attention to being a good vegan yet. For example, for the first, let's say, half year or a few months, I was solely focused on the food, and only after that I started looking into cruelty-free makeup, for example. And I don't use a lot of makeup, but that was something that definitely came later for me, because I had to get the basics down first and then get into the next stuff. And I'm still slowly making that transition. For example, I bought last winter, when I wanted Chelsea boots, I bought vegan Chelsea boots. But when you buy something new, you check if it's vegan. Whereas if you have older products and they're not vegan, that's fine, it happened. You not using it is not going to change anything about that fact, so you might as well just use it. I did find that I have a coat that I thought was not vegan, because it has like a sheep's fur looking interior. It's like a denim jacket with like sheep's fur look interior, and I thought that mustn't be vegan because it looked very real and it felt very soft. Turns out it's polyester or something. So that's good news. There's always silver linings. Even though I wouldn't have to throw that coat out, I can now wear it feeling less weird about it. So that's nice. I also think it's important to know that these people that criticize you for doing things in a different way than they would, they're not necessarily right about their perspective, because even within veganism, there's room for interpretation, just like with religion or anything else for that matter. There's no vegan Bible, if you know what I mean. You just have to make up your own mind about stuff like, do I want to support The Body Shop, for example? That is a brand that is under L'Oreal, which is a very non-cruelty-free company, but The Body Shop does offer cruelty-free items, as far as I know. Do you want to buy that despite some of the proceeds going to L'Oreal? Or do you think everything L'Oreal produced is horrible? That's the sort of stuff that you have to think about for yourself, and everyone has a different opinion about it and may have different lines where they draw the line, and that's fine. As long as you're trying and thinking about it and actively making these decisions, I think do whatever you want. I like being positive, so I would like to end this video on the rewards that veganism has given me over the past year and a half. And the most important part of it is the way I feel about myself, not just my physical body, but also the way I approach the world, I guess. Because I feel really good about having made this choice and doing this tiny thing that might make an impact for some human or animal out there, and I feel really good about having done that. And I also feel good about my body, knowing that at least I'm not putting in meat, eggs, or dairy. Even though I'm not putting in the best stuff, I'm also not putting in some of the worst. So I feel quite good about my physical body, and I also feel good about the mentality that goes behind being a vegan. That alone for me has been a huge reward. I think that's like the most important thing, and I can only imagine if I would focus more on my health, that my physical body would actually like get more fit as well, but that's something for the future maybe. And if it doesn't happen, that's also fine by me. As long as I can maintain the way I look now and I can continue to be full of love and not harm animals, I am totally on board with being a vegan, and I intend to stay a vegan for the rest of my life if that's possible. I don't really have anything else to say, and I feel like if I will say more, I might say something that I will regret, and then I will not finish the video and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna cut it off here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again soon.